Help Wanted 2 released just a few days ago, and now that I've had some time to play through the whole game, reach all the endings, and have had some time to think about it, I decided I'd make a review about all the things I liked, the things I disliked, and things that excited me probably just a bit too much from my initial playthrough. Dude, it's L Chips! Early warning here, there will be spoilers, and at the end of the video I will be showing off the endings, so you have been warned. Being a sequel to one of the coolest FNAF games out there, my hopes were incredibly high going into the game. And let me just say, I wasn't disappointed. It's very clear this game had a lot of time to bake in the oven, and so much care was put into basically every nook and cranny. When you first boot up the game, you're greeted with a title sequence that honestly caught me by surprise, where the lights go out and Funtime Foxy, Funtime Chica, and of course, Roxy vanish and Baby appears behind you. It's a brilliant way to prepare the player for what the game is about, with spookiness all over with huge animatronics. It sets the tone very well and I really like it. Once you actually start the game is when things, of course, get interesting. You're greeted with a super fun introduction video reminiscent of the ones in Pizza Sim, which I absolutely love. And then you're plopped into a pizzeria that is home to all the cool things you can interact with by moving around. It took me a while to realize this, but this is the same pizzeria that you can see underneath the Mega Pizzaplex in Security Breach, which, as all things in this franchise, becomes very important. Before I go into the mini-games, I want to talk about the environments, because that is one of my favorite parts of any game. The environments for every area are stunning and incredibly detailed. There's, I believe, a total of 39 minigames, and yet each minigame feels like it could be located in a real place, due to the world building. By adding things like garbage there, tons of trees, and tons of bins everywhere, the attention to detail is impressive. Most of the minigames take place in the Mega Pizzaplex from Security Breach, and many of them take place in actual locations you can find in it. For example, the Vats room where you meet Chica, El Chips, the daycare, the freaking arcade! Seeing all these locations in full size, not as a tiny little child and in VR, was just something else, and I was so excited the entire time. You really feel like you're actually there dancing with DJ Music Man. There's also some places that take place in Sister Location, which, while less impressive and fairly bland, are so faithful to how the original game looked, I was impressed. Still, WOOO has a knack for nailing the environments, and they pretty much always have, but Help Wanted 2, I feel, takes it to the next level. Good stuff. Now that you've heard me spiel about the game's environments, what about what actually matters? The games. Just like the first Help Wanted, you have a ton of mini-games separated into different categories, but this time separated by location. You have Backstage, Food Prep, Staff Only, Fazcade, Ticket Booth, and for some reason, the Sister Location. I'm sure it's lore relevant or something. In these different locations, you have multiple different tasks to do, like doing Roxy's own makeup. I'm gonna be honest, I am a simp for Roxy. And preparing food for staff bots, repairing Freddy after game frozen, or bowling in the freaking body bowl, yeah! And most of these games you have to play multiple times, each time getting harder. Each game is somehow unique and has you doing something that feels completely different from one another, which was a strong criticism I had with the original game, due to its games being based on the actual games within the franchise. A large amount of the mini-games in Help Wanted were just sitting around pressing buttons and waiting for something to happen. What I'm saying is it got a bit stale and repetitive, but that doesn't really happen in the sequel. Every game has its own rules and gameplay mechanics to learn, and not once did I feel bored, because there was constantly something unique and refreshing just around the corner. You can go from intensely repairing a carousel while fending off Moon to making music with Music Man! It's that flexibility that made this game so enjoyable for me. Some of these are really creative too, and all fit within the established theme of mall. Of course, there's some easy ones, and there's some difficult ones, and some that embarrassed my tiny brain on stream. But the difficulty of the game was very reasonable, being that there are so many minigames you can't ask too much of the player or they might quickly give up out of frustration. I know I've done that before, and I think still will struck an almost perfect balance here. Nothing is overcomplicated or tricky to figure out, and I appreciate that. I only felt that one minigame was a little confusing. I don't know if it really was this hard or if I was just stupid, it's probably the latter though. I struggled tremendously with Ballora's art gallery for like a whole hour. Ballora seemed to just always get me regardless of what I did, and it was very hard to tell what I was doing wrong. And it's a level where you probably don't want the player to have to reset over and over on, because it takes more than 5 minutes to complete. I did eventually figure out that it was because I kept picking up and throwing them in arenas, which pretty much call her directly to you, but it wasn't very obvious that that was what was getting me caught. Grabbing them and throwing them felt like it should be the right thing to do, but apparently not. On a lighter note though, the games where you play a FNAF game through the means of a puppet style show is just so cool. It's so smart. I love this. Absolutely love the creativity here, and would love to see this as an actual attraction someday, if it's even possible. But hey, with the FNAF movie out and doing as well as it is, maybe we're getting closer to that dream every day. After completing minigames, you're given a prize that decorates your room, and some things you can collect can be used to progress in the game. For example, at some point you get this Faz wrench which can be used to unlock this door. Here you find the Princess Quest 4 machine, which I'll get back to later, and one of these masks things from Ruin. And just like Ruin, you can pull it down. After you do that, you can also do this. What? Huh? I was itching my nose and I pushed a button. No way, I was in the AR mask. It wasn't obvious to me that you could do this, but of course I'm an idiot, so does it really matter? I actually believe the subtle clues and hints towards you being in a Vanny mask are done magnificently. There's literally a poster in the room showing someone taking off a mask, but of course I missed it? When you take off the mask, you get to see the pizzeria how it really is, destroyed like it is in Security Breach. When you're in this real world outside of the Vanny mask, you get to play hard versions of the minigames, which, as I said before, are still super awesome. These levels are much harder and they make everything look more run down as well, which all make the minigames look creepier and less lively, adding to the eeriness and dread. Not this guy though! He's still as lively as ever, baby! Also, the freaking plush baby flashlight minigame makes an appearance again, but luckily they got rid of that damn battery. Thank you, TWOOO. Now, I feel as though I should mention that the game really isn't scary, at least for someone who's played many horror games. The jump scares are all great, they all look good, but the fact is that you pretty much always know when you've lost, because there's clear instructions and if you mess it up, you lose. It creates this feeling where you know the jump scare is coming. You can easily predict when an animatronic is going to get you. I don't think that's necessarily bad. In fact, I think for this game, it's quite the opposite. It's nice feeling like you're the one in control rather than leaving it up to cheap jump scares and luck. Don't get me wrong, there are some spooky moments, but nothing that actually made me nervous. But like I said, not a big issue because the game is still hella fun. But if you're interested in playing this for the horror, this may not be the right game. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who had this issue, but the game constantly changed my orientation and position. My guess is that it reset every time the game loaded in between different scenes, but it ended up causing these scenarios where I was constantly facing the wrong way. TWOOO, please fix. Help Wanted 2 has two endings. This one, where a lot of this happens, you get attacked by like a magical hand and staff bots, and you wind up being turned into a mask bot that gives you the mask in Ruin. Pretty crazy timeline shenanigans.
Hello? What's going on here? Is anyone here? Oh my gosh, Cassie. Yeah, take that mask, it's good for you. Oh no, the story is they're putting coworkers into the staff bots. Oh,
you get this ending by unlocking all of these Freddy and the Gang collectibles that show up on the stage as you play through the games. And you get this neat TV commercial for these guys. I may be young, but I grew up in an era where you could still get commercials like these, and it really brought me back. And then the second ending, the Princess Quest ending, involves the Princess Quest machine I brought up earlier. But you need a coin for it. How do you get this coin? You get it by finding 6 plushies hidden throughout the minigames that you can get by several means. Throwing all of Chica's food in the garbage, entering a code in backwards, or entering a code in a number pad that you shouldn't have access to yet. They're all pretty easy, but I did have a pretty big problem with one of them. It's just really complicated compared to the other ones, and I just don't think I'd ever think to do this. The plushie I'm talking about is found in the Phaser Blast levels. Basically, what you have to do is hit a rocket in 3 versions of the level, and then beat the FNAF 2 Knight by shooting down all of the animatronics. This will then unlock a hidden game where you fight Springtrap, and then after you've killed Springtrap, you of course get the plushie. When you explain it like that, it doesn't sound so bad. However, there's a bit more to it. So I'll explain. Every time you hit a rocket, it makes something fall down in the area. First, this wooden beam on the left, second, a hay bale from above, and third, a flammable barrel from somewhere. If you're missing one of these objects, it won't work, and you missed a rocket. After you have all those objects, then you have to beat the FNAF 2 minigame. And I mean actually beat it. You cannot die to the animatronics. You do this by checking on the cameras, turning on the lights, and reacting to the animatronics entering by either popping them, putting on the mask by shooting it with the laser for Freddy, or throwing balls at Foxy to get rid of him. Once you've beaten it, the whole place will go up in flames thanks to the objects on the ground. Don't get me wrong, I do love the idea, and I love this concept of having what you do in one minigame affect each other, but this one is way more complicated than the other ones in my opinion, and that's just my problem. Unless if you know how to get it, you may never find it. Anyways, after you collect all 6 plushies, you get a glitchy purple coin from the Mystic Hippo to your left, and can finally play the Princess Quest 4 game. This is where the game becomes so cool. I don't know why. This whole segment is probably my favorite part of the whole game. It is beautifully done.
Oh shoot, it's me! Oh my goodness! I had a feeling. I had a feeling. Oh, it's funny. What is happening? Whoa! What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Thanks for the sword. Very appreciated. This was so damn cool. Now, Princess Quest in 3D. Woo! This whole part is so well done and makes for a really cool and fun experience. Anyways, after you reach the end by solving puzzles reminiscent of the first Princess Quest and killing enemies, you meet the orange cool guy, and he does this. Thank you, sir. It is a fair trade. Of course, give me that. Oh no. Oh, this is from the trailer. I'm in. Oh, I wish I could turn around now. Oh, yay! What's up, Vanny? What's up, dude? Boop, 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 boop. Whee! No, no, give it back. No, Moon, you suck balls.
Naughty, naughty.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Oh, it's the guy. Fanny. What? What does it mean? Something happening? Am I stuck in here forever now? Oh yeah, baby. Let's. This ending is super cool, super beautiful, and I don't know what it means. I think Help Wanted 2 just made it onto my list as my favorite FNAF game right now. It's a ton of fun and has a lot to do. Also, I'm sure there's a lot here for the lore people to chew on. It's a great time and I definitely recommend it if you're able to play, which I know is a bit tricky right now. I even had a heyday trying to set it up for myself, but I'm sure it'll become more compatible very soon. But yeah, that's it. I love the game, it's super well made, and I was honestly impressed. Good stuff, Stibble, and thanks for watching.